Member Mosdine? Oh, I'm sorry. Member Weinstein Hall?
Yes, present.
I'm just sending a quick reminder to keep your phone muted unless you're speaking.
Okay,
Thank
so you
you.
can hear me now?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
But
I'll mute it when I'm not
we
speaking.
just got quorum, so the meeting will begin shortly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I now call the April 4th, 2024 Senior Citizens Advisory Board meeting to order. Has this meeting been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the Nevada Open Meeting Law?
It has.
Thank you. Would the Deputy City Clerk call the roll, please?
Chair O'Rear Cameron,
Present.
Vice Chair Weinstein Hall, Vice Chair Weinstein Hall, Member Padaratu, excused. Member Galati,
Present.
Member Mosdine, Member Drum, excused. Member Lee,
Present.
Member Graham, excused. Val, do you still, we technically have quorum, but she's not announcing herself.
When you have quorum without her?
No, not without her. Go ahead and call her again. Vice Chair Weinstein Hall,
Present.
we have quorum.
Item number 3, public comment. Comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. If you wish to be heard, come forward and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. Seeing and hearing none, item number 4. For possible action to approve the final minutes by reference of the regular meeting of March 7th, 2024. Do I have any amendments or a move to pass?
Member Mosdine, I move to pass the minutes for the, let me get the proper date here, for the March 7th, for the March 7th meeting,
Of 2024.
2024.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Item number 5, presentation by Sarah Ross, Senior Hunger Program Services Supervisor with 3 Square regarding food programs and senior services and, for active adults. The speaker is not present, so we are going to move to strike. And item number 6, report. Oh, we do need a motion? Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion to move to strike for item number 5 for our presentation?
Yvette Weinstein Hall, I hereby move to strike the presentation under item number 5 for today's meeting, April 4th, 2024.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Item number 6, report by Gregory Gray, Management Analyst 1, Department of Neighborhood Services, regarding senior issues received by the Department of Neighborhood Services. All wards.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Gregory Gray, Management Analyst with the Department of Neighborhood Services. Not much to report, but I did want to give you guys an update on our senior survey for our care coordination program. Olga has surveyed about 112 seniors across the city, and we will be providing a data report to the board today. So you should be seeing that in your email this afternoon. That will show the results as that have been reported so far as of March of 2024. And you'll see some of the questions that were asked and some of the results that we have gotten so far. And we'll continually update that maybe once a month, maybe twice a month, depending on the amount of surveys that we're getting back. But we'll make sure that you're continually updated so you can see the results in your communities, as well as work towards solutions and presentations for the board to help address some of those concerns. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
Caroline Mosden, Ward 6. Gregory and Olga, thank you very much for handling that. Just a quick question previewing it. I'm assuming it's going to be broken out by ward?
Yes, so I did want to clarify, our director, Arcelia Barajas, was asking about the locations. So while these reports are broken up by ward, the surveys are conducted by location. So while there are some for individual wards, wards 4 and 6 are combined because those surveys were conducted at Centennial Hills, which serves both wards. We're looking to, what we've realized is that some of our seniors are very hesitant to provide identifying demographic information as far as their location, where they live, and stuff like that. Even if it's just their zip code, they just don't feel comfortable. So this is just our way of kind of building bridges, building relationships with the senior community so they are comfortable sharing the information with us. And so hopefully as we move forward, we'll be able to individualize them by ward, but ward 4 and 6 are combined.
Gregory, Vito Galati, Ward 2. Clarification, would you be sending an email or a link for the information?
I'll be sending a PDF sheet to your email. And if you want a hard copy, we can get a copy printed for you before you leave today. Also for clarification, we have not gotten to Ward 2 yet. We are working to coordinate to get those surveys done for Ward 2. So there's not anything available for Ward 2 just yet, but it will be soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 7, report by board members regarding senior issues and events with their council wards and at large, all wards. And for Ward 2, we have Vito.
Yes, I've been working on, it's been a while since I really tackled this, working on exploring possibilities, offering more senior-based activities at the local senior center, actually community center. I'm referring to Veterans Memorial Leisure Center. As of now, as far as I could find out, it's very limited as for the seniors or any the adults. I saw yoga and Tai Chi, and I might be missing something. But I'm going to have a conversation with Nicole, who's in charge of the activities there, and perhaps we can aggrandize that and perhaps add a few more, because I was thinking in line of walking clubs, book clubs, lectures, gardening clubs, art classes, and field trips. I think it's vital that the citizens communicate with each other and join in the social activities outside their home. And I think the old saying goes, you offer and they shall come. And that's the way it has to be. It cannot be the other way around where it says, well, they're not asking for it. Okay, so that is going to be my approach. So I will be reporting back, and hopefully with success, that more offerings will be made. I know it takes time, but it's worth it. Also, as far as upcoming events, there will be a breakfast buzz at the Veterans Memorial Center. It's always nice to be there, to be in touch with the councilwoman and also the police and marshal, city marshal is always there to answer questions. There will be a Ward 2 document shredding and medication disposal on the 6th event at Pavilion Center. And on the 20th, there is Art in the Park, which has been very successful. And it's nice to see not only seniors going there, but the community as a whole. And it's hopefully there'll be many more of those activities. And I believe that is it that I have. But I just want to stress, and I'm going to stress it to our council person, that that senior center is vital for seniors, because weakened mobility that usually seniors do not get out of the house. Death in the family usually occurs. Children growing up, health problems, and which causes isolation and withdrawal. And I think it's a worthy effort for not only the seniors, for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Ward 2, also we have Yvette.
Hi, Yvette Weinstein Hall. I went to the farmers market at Summerlin, downtown Summerlin, last Saturday, and I passed a lot of my cards around, and I talked to a few people. There were some older people there, as well as some young families. It's a really nice venue to take people and to take, you know, if you needed to drive a senior there and whatever. There's a lot of activity going on, so it's kind of fun. And so I tried to see what that was like, and I'll go back in a couple more weeks, because I found that pleasant. They also have the same type of farmers market on Wednesdays at the Trent Park on Rampart. So I'll try to go over there and see what's going on, because there is a lot of activity going on. I wish Vito luck. I've been trying for 8 years to get more stuff going on for the seniors in at the Veterans Memorial that is more oriented to young children and young families, but we'll try to work together. I know that the chairman of our chairman has also come to a meeting with Nicole, so we'll see if we can't just try to emphasize this more while my term is still on. Okay, so I have nothing else to report, and I'll see you next month. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ward 4 is myself, Deanna Rear-Cameron. And for me, it's been a lot of the same touch points, calls, emails, referrals to me for assistance. It's always about housing. That's the number one. Housing, transportation, neighbors that are concerned about other neighbors that are isolating and not knowing how to get them out of the house or how to approach them or what to do. That's always sad to hear, and trying to work on that is different. I know we've tried to do that through shutdowns and everything else, and it is difficult. Also, security and safety, that's been a big one. I've had quite a few people in all wards, because I'm actually all over, talking about just, silly little things like people getting into their yard and doing the breakers, shutting off all the breakers, which is scary, and it's especially scary to, those that are older adults. So, there's just a lot of interesting concerns, and what I've done is been telling them to get to their nearest First Tuesday. Because if you get to the First Tuesday, you can literally get your touch point with Metro. Because Metro, their command centers always have the First Tuesdays. You want to make sure you look it up for your area and see what their various topics are, but it doesn't even matter the topic, just getting there so that you can have access to them and they can help you through it if you're not familiar with how to do these things online. Just because you're not familiar doesn't mean you can't get to those meetings. And on that note, we did just have our Northwest Command first Tuesday, just a couple days ago, and it was actually an amazing turnout. We have a new captain, and it was the best turnout they've had yet. And even still, it should be more. It definitely should be more with the things that I'm hearing. But what I loved about it is as we looked around the room, the majority of the room was older adults. So it was really good timing that myself and Gregory and Olga were all there so that they know they have representation. You know you have representation. And we also have 3 council persons representing wards 4, 5, and 6. So I thought that was probably one of the best meetings I had been to yet, because Northwest Command is very vast and large and covers those territories. So that was really nice, and it was great to see the questions asked and to be able to meet our new captain, who I think is going to be so beneficial for us. And then also veterans. I'm always getting a lot of calls about veterans and veteran services, to which I do my best to give out my resources. But there's just a lot of unheard of programs that I know I'm still digging for so that I can help. So as I get those ones that I know are little known, I will be sure and bring them to the board each month so that we all have that info in case you do run across them. Also, I know we have not been doing, our board award, but I did want to say, what I've noticed is the news is doing a lot more senior-focused news videos. And so I've seen several of them, and one of the things I'm going to bring up under our next line here on number 8. But what I've been seeing is they've been really sitting with older adults that are affected by the rent increases, and I saw several of them. So I actually just was with someone from one of the news stations recently and told them if they wanted any information, I would be more than happy to be, more in their presence to let them know what's going on, to see if maybe that helps us in some way so that we understand more. Any way we can to get the stories, right, so we know more of what we can do. And on that note, I don't want to continue on too long. So that is my report. And next we have Ward 5 with Charles.
Hello. One of the concerns at the Doolittle Center in the evening, a lot of people are kind of afraid to go out in the park because you have a lot of dogs running around without restraints. Not so much as in the morning, but in the evenings, around 5, 6 o'clock. They tend to let the dogs run around. They kind of huge dogs also. And maybe if we could get the marshals to, patrol a little more than what they're doing. And secondly, the membership at Doolittle is slightly declining. And one of the reasons is the Martin Luther King Center on Martin Luther King and Cary. It's less than 3 miles, I would say. They offer free meals there. And a lot of the seniors from Doolittle are tending to lean towards Martin Luther King. So, I was wondering, is there anything that can be done for as a grant or something like that to help Doolittle offer free meals for the seniors? And that's about it for me.
Thank you. And on that note, I will get with you in between meetings, because I did meet at an event that Olga and I went to in Councilwoman Ward 1. I met people from the library, and they were talking about that meal program. So I literally just learned about it too. So I will find out how they put that together and see what we can do and get everyone involved.
Okay, thank you.
And Ward 6, we have Caroline.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Caroline Mosdien, Ward 6. First, I just would like to remind folks that next Thursday, April 11th, is Bocaditos with Bruni, which is our councilwoman for Ward 6. She is at the YMCA off of Buffalo. And she's had quite a few people come in, and it's kind of quite a few people. It's been very crowded over there, mostly having to do with some zoning changes and things of that sort, building and zoning changes that bring groups of people in. So she's kind of limited in the number of actions that she can even speak about because she gets sidetracked on one particular topic for quite a while. But I would still like to tell people, come in, there's a card there, you can certainly leave some information, she will get back to you. So if you do find yourself going, I can't get into that room because there's standing room only, please take a few extra minutes to fill out a card and have our councilwoman get back to you on problems that you may have that are other than what she's working on that day. Also, she's had to cut back her hours because of the number of things going on here at City Hall. So instead of as much time as she'd like to spend in that area, she has had to cut that back. So please be aware of that. It's not because by choice, it's because of other things that she has to take care of, other commitments. I'd like to follow up on farmers markets. The Floyd Lamb Park at Tule Springs, their farmers markets run Saturdays twice a month, so that's always another nice location. It's great to have our local suppliers come over to do farmers markets. Ward 6 and Ward 4 were planning to do, or are planning to do, a senior trip. It was originally penciled in for late April, but it's still under consideration as to where and exactly what date and things of that sort. So please stay in touch with either your representative here, which is Councilwoman, is Deanne, or myself, Caroline, or Elizabeth Padaretto. We'll try to stay on top of that, and of course your two council representatives. We hope to have that probably by May. I've had comments. I've had kind of the same kind of thing that was brought up before. I always went to the senior center at the Y on Thursdays, predominantly Thursdays, maybe a day or two here or there, but predominantly on Thursdays. Well, I've started to go on a more frequent basis. And originally I thought, oh, I'm going to meet so many more new seniors, but it hasn't actually materialized that way. I'm finding that it's really the same seniors 5 days a week, which is wonderful, but it's still limiting. So I've found myself trying to look for other places where I can get in touch with more seniors from the area. So now I've kind of been in touch with a couple HOAs and to see if they'll let me work with some of their seniors as well. So let's see where that takes us, but I would like to expand our involvement with other seniors that are not necessarily at the senior center. I'd also like to remind people about the safety. We talk about the police and safety, but we also talk about Nevada Energy, Southwest Gas, and LV Water. Just would like to again remind people that there are free evaluations from each of those departments and agencies that will come in at no cost and try to give you some suggestions about how you can increase your safety or keep your energy bill down. So by all means, take advantage of those if you haven't already. It's something you can do periodically throughout. As far as meals, we spoke about meals in Ward 6 a few months ago, but I have to say I have mixed responses about that. I have many people who say, gee, I would love to have a day that has free meals. And we spoke about this, I think, with 3 Square last year, and we had another speaker, offhand, I don't remember the name, but we spoke about maybe a lunch or something like that. And some people are into that, and they think it's an excellent idea. But I have to say, with the number of unhoused people coming into the area, I've now had some seniors say, no, I don't want that here at our senior center. So can you arrange it somewhere else? We would certainly like to support people that don't have, but at the same time, we don't want to encourage them to be here because we share with the Y already. We have people coming in to either shower or whatever, and they're a little reluctant. So there are two sides of this, but nonetheless, I can say that the people, they're not opposed, but at the same time, they're just looking out for the overall safety of the area as well, and the interests of the area. So that's kind of where that stands. And I'd also like to mention that I was at an event, which is the K-9 police event, just last week, and made contact with, or lady that made contact with me from Archwell Health, and she's going to be probably in touch with Gregory, or Gregory's now going to be in touch with her about possibly doing another presentation. She explained similarly to other groups that we've had in, but they have a location in each of the 6 wards, and they are interested in working, at the very least, giving us a presentation, doing a presentation for us, and at each of the wards if that's appropriate. So I've turned that over to Gregory, and I know in his capable hands this will get taken care of in the best of possible ways. Thank you.
Thank you. And as far as Archwell, I'm very familiar with Archwell. I do a lot of work with them. And what I think would be good is you were looking for places to go to their centers. They actually have activities at their centers, so that way we can get out to them and get out to those seniors in those centers. Actually, I just saw the card, and it's one that Olga and I both know as well. And I love their model. They're basically medical. Is what they are. So for everyone to understand, who they are, they're medical. So they're similar to a lot of the others that we have here, which is a beautiful thing that popped up in our Las Vegas Valley probably over like the 6-7 years. And each one of them have a different connection to various insurances that they accept, et cetera. So they have a really great model, but that would be a good one for your wards to see if you have one in your ward, so that way you can go on days where they have certain activities and just introduce yourself.
Caroline Mosty, Ward 6. That is an excellent idea, Deanne. Perhaps then at some point maybe we can summarize the different ones so that we have better access to one sheet of paper that says this is closest to you, or this takes your insurance, or go check this out. We've done it. And we'd like you to see them and determine whether they're appropriate for your needs.
Absolutely, thank you. And now we have item number 8, discussion for possible action
Madam Chair?
regarding, yes.
I need to read the record for Ward 1.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I keep forgetting she's not here, but you do have her information. And also, on behalf of Nicole, Gregory Gray will be reading the report for Ward 1, excuse me.
Thank you. Gregory Gray for the record. So according to Member Graham, she has said that March 25th, she sat in for the resident council voting at Charleston Heights Senior Living, and she will continue to coordinate with the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority with any supportive services within Ward 1, and will refer to others if they occur outside Ward 1. There's a meeting tonight with Councilman Knudsen and Red Rock Harley regarding the negative effects the annual stunt rides riding events have on the community in Ward 1. That is this evening at 4 o'clock, located at 2260 South Rainbow Boulevard. This morning, Councilman Knudsen was at Decatur Commons for bingo, donuts, and coffee. They had a great turnout and fun participation amongst the senior community within Decatur Commons. The family side of Decatur Commons will be hosting a pizza and games on April 16th from 4 to 5. And just for the record, I wanted to add some notes in from the discussions that were had by the members today. So if you do come across a veteran in need that wants information or get connected to the VA, they are welcome to call the care coordination line through the city at 702-229-1200. Joe Simmons or myself will be able to provide veteran information or get them in touch with a veteran services officer if they need a more thorough connection for veteran services benefits and claims. Member Mosdeen talked about finding alternate ways to get in touch with senior community, and so I wanted to remind the board that you have access to the health and wellness team and the neighborhood services outreach team for engagement, so we can help you coordinate events and socials within your communities to meet with seniors that are not necessarily attending at your local senior center, or if there's not a senior center for them to attend, we can arrange to have space for you to meet with seniors in your community. So just know that that is always available to you. Feel free to email me. Let me know what you need. I'll coordinate with Olga as well as our outreach team to make sure we get that coordinated for you, and all you have to do is show up. And that's all I have.
Thank you for all the clarity, and I like that. All we have to do is show up. See, we have no excuse. Item number 8, discussion for possible action regarding next steps and future meeting topics of the Senior Citizens Advisory Board, all wards. I do know that we have a running list of those items that we do have on tap, so that we can look forward to our speakers for the different categories and everything that we've been coordinating on, all the things that we've been talking about. So they are in our prior minutes, and I know Gregory Gray has been keeping track of all those as well. One of the things I wanted to bring to the attention, so there was a story, a lot of people are familiar with it because it was on a lot of stations, but there was a Barbara Ojito who's an East Las Vegas resident, and I am trying to get if she is in one of our wards or if she's outside of it, because if she's in one of our wards, this was just amazing, just amazing. So she had a contractor that she had paid, and it turns out he was unlicensed. She knew him through church, and this has all been on all the news. And he had a prior 10 years ago that she didn't know about, but she was trying to make the patio accessible for her brother who is disabled, that she takes care of, and she herself is an older adult. Well, he basically took her money and didn't finish the job. And so it was really sad. It was about $8,000. And once Fox 5 got involved, or they put it out there along with some other stations, one of the viewers was Steve with Ariette Electric. They're out of Henderson, but he did come to the rescue, and they literally finished the job for her. And when we get humanitarian work like that with the type of things we see with older adults, and in this case also, you know, a disabled person that she's taking care of, I just think that is above and beyond. And I know we haven't done any awards in a while, so I just wanted to bring it, you know, for possible action, maybe regarding a next step. I do want to find out somehow, some way, if Barbara is in one of our East Las Vegas wards, since she is one of our potential constituents and residents, because I think it would be really great to award him. I want to see more companies do that. I know he's in Henderson, but he's still helping a Las Vegas resident and an older adult, and I really want to encourage that with our awards that we do, encouraging the people to come forward and be about community and understand the limitations that some of our people have. And she did everything, you know, she even recorded the conversation. So she did all the things, but unfortunately it still happened. So to see the community come together was wonderful. So I just wanted to see the board's thoughts on that particular one, if we wanted to maybe do some next steps towards that.
Caroline Mosdeen, Ward 6. Thank you for bringing that up again. This is almost identical to the case that I had last year, 2022. I'm just looking back at my notes, 2022, which was Michael Beebe from 702 Plum Air, who literally did the same thing, reached in his pocket after he had heard a story like that. Initially, we did talk about how we could expand our, I guess, I don't want to call them awards, but our, you can even help me out here with a word here, just the mere fact that we have people like this, their names, their businesses should be brought to the attention of more in the community. And I know we thought about splitting up our awards between maybe businesses and people in the community, I mean people in the city, for the city, and things of that sort. I don't know that we ever really got drilled down on it, but I would be the first person to support you on that, Deanne, and I would really like, I'd even go back here. I have all the information. I went to the lawyers and everything like that, and have all the information on this particular business, because we do have to be very careful. I'm not saying that this is the easiest thing in the world, but you know, just because you hear a story or you get one little side of it, and we start doing an award and find out there's a backstory to it. So it's not perfectly easy, and it's not a perfect solution, but at the same time, I do think the time and the energy that we put to investigate it and get some help doing so, that it's worthwhile, that our community people should be awarded or at least recognized for the work that they do. So thank you for bringing that back up.
Great, for the record. I just wanted to clarify, I know that we had discussed this previously, and the decision lies with you as a board. So if you require a level of information to better inform your decision, it is the nominating member's responsibility to bring that information to the board to discuss and then vote if they want to award that particular individual. So as far as the parameters go, you provide the information, you discuss it, you vote on it. So it's ultimately up to you as a board. The parameters are pretty clear, especially Jeff had made sure that he had clarified that for the record. So, you know, if there's any confusion, we're happy to clear it up, but it is definitely your decision to make if you want to proceed or not, and whoever you decide to nominate, just make sure that you provide enough information for your fellow members and chair to make an informed decision.
Thank you for that, Gregory. And yes, I do remember all of that, and what had happened, to the best of my knowledge, is at that point we hadn't separated city from businesses, which again is up to the board to do. So we would have to take that as a first step. But because of that, we wound up at that particular time doing a recognition for a city employee as opposed to a business employee. So that will probably be something Deanne and I will talk about, how we get that before the board, and then follow up with nominations such as these. So thank you again for reminding us about the details.
Thank you for all the clarification and reminders on it. I know we had talked about it, and that's why when I saw this one, I knew this one was a very clear, easy one, because the contractors board has also been involved, and he just had his day in court, and he has been mandated to pay $1,600, and he does have a prior from 10 years ago. So I know that we have all the proper entities involved for the proper background on this one, so that's the reason why I wanted to bring it up today, to just see everyone's thoughts for it to be maybe on the next meeting.
Right, I just wanted to clarify that we did say that it's not necessarily a city versus,
right,
if it happens to be a city employee,
yeah,
we are committed organization, that's what we do. Mm-hmm. So some people do go above and beyond. We do have recognition within the city for that, and this is also another step in that process. But we want to also recognize anybody in the community. Again, that is a board decision. There's not anything barring you from nominating a city employee, just like there's nothing barring you from choosing a citizen within the community. So that was what Jeff was trying to clarify, is that there really isn't any set parameters for that specifically. It is up to the board and the members to decide who they want to bring forward.
Caroline Mosdeen, Ward 6. But would there be an objection if we specifically, if we as a board decided to say, hey, we want to do or to recognize two different areas? Is that a problem for us if we break that? Is there?
It's kind of already baked in. Yeah. That's what Jeff was saying. It's already baked in, where it's it could be either or, because technically, basically, the separation would be announced at the award, and as a member, you have the right to say I necessarily don't agree with nominating a city employee, this is their job, this is what they do, that is your right as a member to say, like, I don't believe this person should be recognized, I will not be voting on this item. That is your right, that is available to you as well. I don't think it necessarily requires the entire board to necessarily agree on separating the two. I think it kind of creates a dichotomy that isn't really necessary. We've tried doing that before with the board as a whole by splitting them into two subcommittees that eventually came back together as one. So if you do feel it is pertinent that you make that decision as a board, then we can definitely put on the agenda for discussion and action.
Okay, I don't want to belabor the point. It's just that if we have 4 or 5, trying to select one from 4 or 5 who are very legitimate people who should almost all receive that kind of recognition, it's very hard sometimes to do that. And I kind of think that sometimes we would like it that it would be a little broader, and whether we say, well, let's do 2 people, I don't know if we can do that as well. Maybe that's an answer to it, and just say, well, you know, the board kind of feels that each of these people have excelled or beyond excellence in whatever it is they were doing on behalf of the community. I would just like to make that.
Okay, so we'll definitely add this as an item to the agenda so the board can discuss it as a whole, and then that way we can make that determination. The board can make that determination, and that way we'll know how to move forward for that award nominating system from there on.
Yes. I very much appreciate that, Criven.
Perfect.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I know in the past, we did have that situation where it was somebody through the city, and there were some people opposed to it, and that is absolutely fine. And we also have awarded where it was one situation, but we had like 4 people that got awards in it. So it really is going to depend on like how many people are involved in the scenario of the person that we may want to give it to, and it's up to us, just like Gregory and Jeff were saying, that we are the ones that are going to come together for the discussion to determine what it is. So I think that's why we kind of were heading away from a category per se, and just whoever went above and beyond that we want to recognize, you know, and just like you were saying, make sure we're doing, you know, our due diligence, whoever wants to nominate them, so that it doesn't come up later that they were involved in something, I guess, is going to be one of our biggest concerns, right? We want to make sure that the background to the story and the people have been looked at, but then that's up to us, whoever's nominating that person.
Right. I don't think, Gregory, for the record, I think why Jeff wasn't too necessarily concerned about the specifics of it, because there's no monetary award or physical trophy that is given to those individuals. It is a certificate that is provided by the city, just recognizing them for their outstanding service. So I think that's one of the reasons why he didn't really belabor it. But once again, I think that Member Mosian has brought up some good points. I think they warrant a good, healthy discussion amongst the board as a whole, and then whatever you guys decide, we can definitely honor and move forward with that in the future.
I have a question. I'm just wondering whether the awards could be spread. If we're concerned that we're awarding at a specific time too many awards, or they're conflicting for whatever reason, can it be? Do we have a limit on how many awards throughout the year?
So, like I was saying, it's not like there's any money or any, like, you know, valued prize that comes with this recognition. It is literally just a certificate. You can nominate 100 people at once if you wanted to. It could be a whole organization, and we can print out 100 certificates. So there's no limit, because it is a certificate that we are prepared to, that's already prepared. We fill in the names. We have the chair and the ward member that has nominated them and recognized them, and they get the certificate. So I think that, once again, that's why Jeff really didn't see like the parameters to be necessary, because it is literally a certificate of recognition.
So it's not a matter of time. In other words, that say we gave 10 awards and they we invite them to come here, and then we'll have 10 people coming here. We could have that.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. And I think the biggest thing behind the award that we had talked about, I don't know how long ago, was it was a way to say a big thank you from the board to those who are being mindful in helping the older adults in our community. And of course, it helps people to be motivated to do that. Yes. So it was kind of, I think that was kind of our whole reasoning behind doing it. And I know we've had so many things come up, and I couldn't help but bring it up again because I know Caroline had hers that was so close to this one. So I just wanted under number 8 to see if we can put it as next month's one of our topics that we can discuss on these two, since they're kind of in the same category. And then we can feel our way through it as we go, since there is no monetary gain or anything in this. So that's kind of what I was proposing.
I was just wondering, as far as the legality, if they decide to advertise that they received that award for their, to advance in whatever business, their business practice.
So before we propose any type of, like, before we propose the Senior Recognition Award program, we ran it through our legal team first, just to make sure there weren't any ramifications. So we don't just do things arbitrarily. We have a process and a protocol to make sure that all of these items are approved. There isn't any legality of them saying that they've received a recognition from the Senior Citizens Advisory Board. I turned to Val to see if he has any input on that. But I don't think there's any true legal concerns in regards to saying that they received a certificate from the city. It is 100% fact and true. You are a city-appointed board, therefore you are representatives of the city, and you have chosen that person to be recognized, and they have every right to say that the city did recognize them for their outstanding service to the senior community.
So refresh my memory, Val. Do we need to make a motion to have it on the next agenda?
Well, the agenda item suggests for possible action, but I don't think your practice has been that. I think Gregory just listens to what he hears and puts something on the agenda.
Okay, perfect. Just wanted to make sure. Does anyone else have any other discussion on number 8? Thank you. Item number 9, citizens' participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the board. No subject may be acted upon by the board unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, come forward and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. Seeing and hearing none, our next Senior Citizens Advisory Board meeting is May 2nd, 2024, which is a Thursday at 1 p.m. right here at City Hall. We are now adjourned.